College
Yes,
football is here in 20 days. We are excited. Shout out to those of you that are in the comments watching us. But another thing that we've been talking about, Alex, man, all off season, we've covered it all the way up to the draft. We talked about these guys that were last year's stars, the studs, the breakout players, and them getting into the NFL. And yesterday, today, a little bit later, we're going to see more and more. A lot of these guys are making their NFL preseason debut. And let's start right at home, man. Talk to me about your guys. How did the Lions look? Jahmyr Gibbs, I heard he got a little action.
Yeah, so he didn't play too much. I mean, he had 6 carries for about 18, 19 yards, and then a catch for 18 yards. Looked solid. I mean, he showed that speed. The majority of the starters didn't play. He only got a little bit of time because he's essentially a starter. But he's a rookie, so they just wanted to get him in, get him used to the speed. I mean, someone like Sam Laporta only got 1 target. Yeah. I got to go back and watch the first part of the game. Didn't reel it in. So he's zeros across the stat line there. Defensively, those rookies looked awesome. Brian Branch, Sean, I showed you that clip yesterday. Came across defense,
right?
Leveled the wide receiver, laid the smackdown on him. He's been awesome in camp the entire time. The joint practices with the Giants, he was shutting guys down left and right. He looks to be a star. He looks so good in camp that they've now pushed C.J. Gardner-Johnson back to safety so Brian Branch can be the nickel.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
He's been that good so far. Jack Campbell looked awesome. He showed that speed, that tenacity, that aggression. Was not afraid to get in there. He was in on pretty much every play that he was actually in for. He only got a couple drives, but looked very good. I'm so excited to watch him play. And then a lot of it was our other ones were kind of the trench guys. Broderick Martin, he's a defensive tackle, so didn't light the stat sheet up. I thought he played okay. I thought he was solid. He just a solid D tackle, just made everyone else look good, essentially. Yeah. And Colby Sorsdal, the rookie guard, I think we got in the 5th round. He looked good. I was quite surprised with him. The Lions didn't allow a sack all night. He played a lot, so he was good in pass pro. Our run game it got going late, and he was in for that, but the run game was kind of lacking. So it'll be nice to see him get a few more games under his belt, but overall, this draft class I was very surprised by. Oh, also, he wasn't part of the draft class. He was undrafted. Adrian Martinez, the quarterback from Kansas State and Nebraska, led a game-winning drive with under 3 minutes to go in the game. He was poised, man. He looked solid. Wasn't worried about the pressure. Was just making his reads. He looks like he could be a pro quarterback. Not really a starter, but he looks like he could be one of those solid backups.
Exactly. Oh, Chris, what is going on, man? Thanks for the nice comments. Yeah, buddy, man. Yo, shout out to Chris. Shout out to North Sports Dynasty. Andrew Faubert, I saw you in the comments as well. I came on there last night, talked about Washington, and then I tapped out and my guy tagged in. It was all good.
Yeah.
Wait, what it said? Where's the link so you can see my name? Oh man.
Chris, other Chris.
Oh, hey,
Washington 0-1.
Yeah. It's not happening, sir. It's not happening. What's going on, Chris? Will Levis playing today, and they're just preparing for kickoff. I'm eager to see that. Speaking of which, I'll start with Washington. My guy, Mr. We talked about Kentucky, Chris. And now we're also going to talk about that running game in Kentucky. Chris Rodriguez, hey, 5 carries, 39 yards. Obviously, he got in there with the two against the twos and the threes. But I mean, look, he didn't back down. I mean, he was pushing the pile. There were several runs where you're sitting there like, "Ooh, all right, big man, do your thing, man, do your thing." So I loved what I saw out of him. Kazmir Allen, who was an undrafted free agent, he came out of UCLA, and we were able to pick him up. He is potentially going to be our special teams kick returner, punt returner type guy. He had a couple returns that kind of looked like he turned the corner and just got tripped up, or one he returned it for like 30, 40 yards, but then he got called back because of holding. So that's a threat that we have not had, and I'm excited to see that. Obviously, we had our rookies, Quan Martin, Tavis Martin out of Illinois. I had a couple of decent plays. I was really excited to. I was really eager to watch what that first round pick, Emmanuel Forbes, did. He had one major, real big pop, real hit early. Nothing else really to put on tape. I mean, a lot of technique stuff. Didn't really get past to all that much. Actually want to shout out our 6th, 7th round pick, Andre Jones Jr. He came in late in the game, and I mean, there's been a lot of talk about him, just his athleticism, his ability to kind of, track the ball and pursuit and all those type of things. And he came in with a couple of real big hits later in the ball game. So, it's preseason. They're playing against 2s and 3s and all that type of stuff. But he's making a name for himself, at least putting some on tape that I'm really excited about. So, yeah, I'm loving that. Hey, did you check any of the other games? I know we talked about like the first game.
I didn't tune into much of the other games last night. After the Lions game, I hopped on the show, and then I was planning on kind of tuning into a few today, at least seeing how some of the rookies did. Yeah. I forgot your boy, Antoine Green. He got in late in the game there, 3 catches, 36 yards. He looked pretty good, which I was glad to see because he seemed to be really up and down in practice. So it was nice to see him get in the game and do well. Yeah, because I think he was only targeted the 3 times, brought all 3 balls in.
Oh, I can dig it. He's somebody that parlayed kind of that success he had last year into that spot, because before that he was really not known, even in North Carolina. So that was a huge thing. Chris, Russ looked like an ass-playing DoorDash driver. Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. They ended up pulling, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Cardinals end up pulling the game out? I think I watched that this morning. Didn't you guys pull it out in the last play of the game or something to that effect?
Ooh. They won 18-17.
Yeah, shout out to the Cardinals. I want you to have all the preseason success you can have, because you see that W at the end of this? Yeah, that W at the end, that's that L you about to take, baby. Let's go. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Yo, so we did actually talk about, and I was going to bring this up, obviously the first preseason game was the Texans and who was it?
Patriots. Vikings Seahawks was later in the night, yeah.
Yes, Texans and the Patriots. And we were able to see C.J. Stroud. He got in there. Obviously, his stats aren't really that great. 2 of 4, had an interception. He got sacked. I looked back at some of his play. Honestly, it's kind of what I expected. This guy's a rookie quarterback. He's still trying to learn the system. We have to put into consideration the adverse effects. Like, that line still sucks. That line is still trash. It's a first coach. It's just not.
Well, and how many of the full-time starters were actually playing? And you got to look at everything.
Right. You know what I mean? They weren't in the offense. Their play calling wasn't, what they're going to do in the regular season. It was really vanilla. There was a lot of times where he's just sitting here in the pocket, and I'm like, dude, of course nobody's going to be open. Like, you're going to get sacked. The pocket was collapsing around him. So I just, I don't think that's an accurate debate. I just think that's what we're expected to see. This guy's a first round pick.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to come after him. Like, so.
Well, and he's on what was the second worst team in football last year.
Right. Right.
It's gonna take some time.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, I will agree. This was a hard game to watch. This was definitely a hard one to watch, but it ended well. It ended fun.
See, I'm gonna go back and watch the first part because I want to see Paris Johnson Jr.
Yes.
Because Chris, when we were on the show last night, was hyping him up, and I expect big things from Paris Johnson, so I want to go back and watch him. Like I'll probably just zero in on him, honestly.
Oh yeah. Another team. Actually, I mentioned this to you in the group chat. Holt Nailers, East Carolina University, came in there for Seattle, 4-4, 43 yards, a touchdown, 26 yards on the ground. Like, we talked about this guy at ECU last year, but I mean, to have him come in there, again, we'll always throw that disclaimer against the 2s and 3s, whatever. But if you can ball, you can ball, period. You're still going up against guys that were drafted, and vets. So I loved seeing what I saw from him, man.
When he had another 6 carries for 26 yards, he looked good. I was very pleasantly surprised by him. You look at their rookies, Zach Charbonnet, 4 carries, 14 yards. JSN, 3 carries for 3 catches, 25 yards on 4 targets. Charbonnet, another 2 catches for 14 yards. That offense is going to be scary again.
Yes.
You've got 2 really good running backs. You can make the argument for 3 if McIntosh gets rolling here. That receiver trio, Lockett, Metcalf, and JSN. Geno Smith's got no excuses.
No.
0. That offensive line's pretty good now. Like, it's how far the Seahawks can go is going to be on Geno.
Oh, well, right. Now you actually push him up when you're ranking those teams as opposed to last year where it's like, no, nobody's even thinking about them. Now it's like, dude, you got weapons, you got toys, you got a coach staff, you got to get it done. Flipping to the other side of that game, Ty Chandler, shout out to him from UNC. He wasn't drafted this last year, though. He 2 years.
He was 2022, right?
Right. Yeah. So shout out to him. I just want to shout out to him because he's North Carolina. But Dwayne McBride, 6 carries, 15 yards, just under 3 average. Jaron Hall, shout out to Andrew. He did in there. I watched him. He wasn't getting that much support. The line was kind of breaking down, but he was mobile. It was kind of frustrating. You could see he was getting frustrated because he was kind of getting beaten up a little bit, and things weren't kind of working. But I'm still eager to see if he can put it together. Maybe not in Minnesota because he's going to be behind a couple guys. Mullins looked decent, so
yeah. Although remember, we're getting a third quarterback on the game day rosters now.
Really?
Yeah, that was a rule put in place this year after that playoff game last year for San Francisco. They're having like an emergency quarterback that doesn't count as that official 53-man roster, but he has to be the third quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't pull him in over your second string. He's got to be that only there for emergencies quarterback.
For the emergency stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Has to be injuries essentially that bring him in.
Yeah, make it your ringer.
Your
ringer. Chris said, did you all know Mike Vrabel not coaching today? He named Terrell Williams as the one game interim coach. I did hear about that. Why is he doing that?
I have no idea. I'll take a look because I heard he wasn't coaching today. I didn't hear he named Terrell Williams the interim.
Yeah, I read that he had named Terrell, but I didn't know why that was happening.
See if I can find something on
it. Jason, shout out to Jason Ross Barfield, said the only game I caught last night was the Steelers and the Bucks. Hey, I heard there was an amazing catch. George Pickens was balling out. He was doing his thing.
Yeah, I expect that from Pickens now. He's so good.
Exactly. Andrew said Vrabel is doing it to give him some airtime because he is an up-and-coming talent, according to Vrabel.
So, yeah, I've got this. It says during a press conference Monday, Vrabel told reporters he's stepping aside for the preseason game Saturday to let Williams serve as the head coach, emphasizing it's a great opportunity for both Williams and the franchise.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
So it's a lot like at what they do at the Senior Bowl and that kind of stuff, where the head coach actually steps aside and then the coordinators run the team and all that. I think it's a really good idea. I wish more teams would do that, honestly. Because then you can get these coordinators that aren't actually that are going to be first-time head coaches. You've got a scenario that you've already seen them run through where, yes, it's a preseason game, but you're getting them ready for game action. You're running the sideline on game day, calling the shots. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah. Yes, Andrew.
He's not a top. No.
You have to add the energy part. Energy, I agree with.
Energy, yes.
It doesn't mean fully. Just like your little argument on top defense of all time. Not doing it, all right? No. Chris said Malik Willis, first play, 30-yard completion. Tajee Spears, first carry, 9 yards.
Interesting.
Out of Tulane, right? That was Spears.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next year, MMA mascot madness, Truman and Tigers training. Oh my goodness.
Colton Bills is also live right now.
Ooh, nice. Yes.
Anthony Richardson just got intercepted.
Oh, there it is. Somebody said, yes, sir. He's starting to grow into his own in year 2 for sure. Darnell Washington also had a great catch and several impactful blocks. That's somebody I want to take a look at, Darnell Washington. He obviously, we thought highly of him, and we know his size. Spears has 4 carries, 31 yards already. Oh, I love that. Okay. Yes, keep up.
Not even 6 minutes in the game.
Right.
Or into the game.
Feed him.
I know for the Steelers, JPJ didn't play last night, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison for the Vikings only had the 1 catch, but it was for 22 yards. That was his only target. Yeah. A lot of these rookies are showing up in their minimal action they're getting. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a look at the Falcons here for Bijan.
Yeah. I was messaging also. I was messaging you in the group chat. Sean Clifford. Clifford came in there 3 for 3 right out of the gate and threw a bad interception. He looked like he was getting a little comfortable or whatever, but he led them on, I think, at least 1, if not 2 TD drives. 2 interceptions. So, he was 20 of 26, over 200 yards, had a touchdown, threw 2 picks, but he's still – I mean, he's been around the game. We know. I mean, he's at Penn State for decades. Right.
He was what they used to say about Hunter Renfrow at Clemson, just there for years and years and years.
It's like, you got gray hair, man. Come on, you can't still be here.
And Stetson Bennett and Hendon Hooker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Chris said David Blau revealed the Cardinals chose to let the Broncos score with 1:30 left so they can get the ball back. Hey, David Blau did his thing, man.
Glad to see him doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Battle of SoFi tonight. Absolutely.